Alright. We got us a Penguin a Penguin Zero video. It's just the Cody Code situation is crazy. I haven't I don't really know who Cody Code is, but I've been seeing this situation a lot on my Twitter timeline, and people are finally starting to talk about it. So let's check it out.
Cody is a YouTuber that probably doesn't need an introduction. I don't need to read the Wikipedia article explaining to you who he is and lore dumping. I'm sure most of you are at least loosely familiar with his content. He's been very large on the platform for years now. And recently, some disturbing allegations have come out against him. Now, the allegations against him aren't exactly brand new. They're not, fresh off the battle bus, hot drop in here out of nowhere. They've actually existed for a little while now, but never actually received a lot of coverage or a lot of attention. Kind of just been sidelined with people not knowing about it or not talking about it until yesterday when another YouTuber named D'Angelo Wallace gave some amazing coverage breaking down the entire situation here and going over everything that Cody Ko is accused of.
Someone has been alleging for years now that you, one of the largest commentary creators on YouTube, knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor. But YouTube...
Hold on, wait. Cody Ko... His face looks familiar. Let me see if... I don't think I've ever watched a video. Let me look up his channel real quick. His last drop was 3 weeks ago. And has 1 million views. Yeah, he at least touches 1 mil every video. Damn. Hey, man.
Creators on YouTube knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor, but YouTubers and viewers alike are ignoring and discrediting these allegations solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online, Tana Mongeau.
Yikes. Yeah, that's some pretty awful shit right there. That's a huge allegation that actually has a lot of evidence backing it up, which D'Angelo Wallace covers.
I've never actually seen D'Angelo. Y'all watch his he's a comedian. Y'all watch his content, D'Angelo Wallace. He seems like he's very well spoken.
Great detail in this video. It's not some imaginary nothing burger that someone squeaked out between their butt cheeks to try and ruin Cody Ko. It's a serious accusation that appears to have a lot of evidence about it.
I'm not here to accuse you of committing a crime in this video because I can't do that based on someone else's allegations. Nobody can definitively take these allegations as proof, but at the same time, they should still be looked at and not treated as an open secret and swept under the rug like you've been doing for so many years now.
I think that's a great point. Even though these are still allegations with nothing that's been proven, since there is so much supporting evidence around the claims, it definitely is something that needs to be examined thoroughly because it is a huge deal.
And speaking of this podcast, about a month ago, she hosted a live episode in front of an audience, and the conversation turned to you.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Ko. I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say that.
This clip started making the rounds, and people were understandably perturbed, because if Tana Mongeau was 17, you would have been 25. So people started speculating, and Tana decided to set the record straight.
I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17, and he was 25.
I'm going to go ahead and break down these numbers here because it seems like people are starting to struggle with math, like teriology starting to pop off with 1 × 1 = 2 and all that. I'm just going to go ahead and explain this. 17 is less than 18. Thus, that is below the age of...
Bro. I don't understand. There's so many niggas, bro. There are so many niggas, bro, that are trying to justify 17. Even in a doctor disrespect situation, there's so many niggas trying to justify 17. I don't understand. I still think 18, if you're over the age of 21 and you're trying to date somebody 18, I still think that's even a little fucking weird. 25 and 18, weird. I don't give a fuck. I still think it's weird. Is it legal? Are they consenting adult at that time? Sure. So I still think it's fucking weird. Why are you trying to justify 17? I don't understand it. It's so fucking weird to me.
Consent and is a crime. And I already have seen comments on this situation about 17, who gives a fuck? That's basically 18 anyway. And it's the same dog shit, brain dead, concerning mentality, like your hard drive needs to be investigated type shit that we saw with Dr. Disrespect, where they're like, no one should really care that Dr. Disrespect was talking inappropriately with a 17-year-old. Even though, once again, you absolute fucking Cro-Magnon, there is no evidence that Dr. Disrespect ever talked to a 17-year-old. Not even he said that. It has only ever been stated as a minor. Everyone around Dr. Disrespect never mentioned 17. It's actual delusional Fantasyland Narnia type shit where people are trying to defend him by saying it was actually a 17-year-old 364 days old, which is absolute fucking barnacles. Like, that's a load of fish paste. And even still, it's bad. I don't know how we've devolved so much where all of a sudden 17 is now something people try and justify. So,
Bro,
like in this case right here,
it.
you'll have some drooling, stinky, bumbling morons in the comments saying how it's not a big deal because 17 shouldn't be an issue. You know, like, age of consent over in this region is actually 16, so really, he waited till she was old. Like, it's craziness. It's actually craziness.
Like, at 25, you're in your mid-20s. What the fuck can you have? What, at the age of 25, what are you relating to in a person that's 17, fresh out of high school? At what point, what do y'all relate to? I don't understand it, bruh. I know me, myself, when I was 17, 18, I was nowhere near the person I was at 25. I know the fucking difference mentally where I was at. Why the fuck would I want to deal with somebody that was mentally where I was at the age of 17, 18? There's nothing we have in common. I don't get it. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't get it, bro.
It is a crime. It is a minor. Still, it's bad. Like, I don't know why that needs to be explained all of a sudden. Now, something D'Angelo Wallace does make a point of here is pointing out that Tana Mongeau is not well liked. I am sure if you've been on YouTube for any length of time, you've heard her name and seen a lot of less than stellar things about her. She has a history of lying and putting on a lot of bad stuff and bad behavior. However, when it comes to this claim, this doesn't appear to be something that she's just lying about for clout to try and elevate her platform on the back of Cody Ko's good name or anything like that. This is a story that's been told even a few years in the past about this situation here. So this isn't something that she just pulled out of thin air. This is actually an allegation that has existed for a long time that is only just now starting to surface.
She claims that not only were you fully aware of her age at the time, but someone even tried to stop you and you went ahead anyway.
There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him, like, yo, she's 17, and then we still went and hooked up.
To be clear, 17 is under the age of consent in many states, including Florida, where Playlist Live used to take place. So this means that Tana Mongeau is accusing you of statutory rape, and she's not trying to hide that.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabby Hanna tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage. Watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
This is really, really bad.
Really, really bad indeed. Pardon my potty mouth here, but this is fucking disgusting. Like, this is by far the most compelling piece of evidence presented because this is a completely separate third-party individual coming forward now with the same story years ago. Exactly how Tana described it. Finding this clip was huge. I don't even know how it was unearthed. Huge props for finding this ancient artifact because apparently it had been scrubbed from like everywhere. I don't even know how you would have even gone about finding something like this, but I really think it is an important piece to this story. It's a very strong piece of evidence.
You know what's so crazy is the fact that it's not like this is it's not out of nowhere. This has been a story that was been told multiple times. She told it in a way that it doesn't implement you, and then it was told the same exact way with your name attached to it, and it made sense. You know what I mean? So it's not like this is some new fabricated story that everybody's just, all right, we're going to tell this story. This is the same story that was told, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to remember the same fucking details from years ago up until now to tell the same lie on you, especially when it's scrubbed off the internet. I don't know how the fuck the nigga found it. But once you put something on the internet, it's on the internet forever, to be honest.
And it should hopefully showcase that this isn't just something Tana is making up on the spot for attention or anything like that. This is something that has been talked about for years. There's a lot of comments that get shown in the video with people shitting on Tana for bringing this up, like, oh, this is prehistoric. Why would you ever bring this up now? You just want attention, you absolute harpy. Oh, who cares? This is bullshit. It's all a lie anyway. All you do is lie. Liar, liar, plants for hire, you harlot, those kind of comments, like unhinged people about this. And I really think that this Gabby Hanna clip that's been provided should shut that garbage down. Of course, it doesn't prove 100%, you know, the authenticity of everything. As D'Angelo Wallace also explains, these are still allegations. But that is a pretty substantial piece of evidence there that should at least show why this needs to be talked about and should absolutely be addressed directly by Cody.
People make accusations all the time, specifically regarding things that are very difficult to prove or disprove, unfortunate as that may be. But when somebody makes an allegation and they say they have a witness, and that witness can be found telling the exact same story years before any of this came out, that's not something I can just ignore. In a situation that cannot be proven, corroboration by a third party goes a long way. I'm not accusing you of committing a crime, but even if what Tana says is false, your silence is still grossly incompetent at best.
It really is a pretty bad strategy here. This isn't something John Madden would draw up in the playbook. Burying his head in the sand and hoping that the storm blows through doesn't exactly work in a situation like this.
Also, though, I was on Twitter and I saw that that nigga's Reddit mods was trying to bury it. Somebody kept putting it in a Reddit and they kept getting banned, and like they were deleting the post. They were trying to bury the shit about it. I seen that shit. I was like, nah, your Reddit mod's trying to hide it. Like you actually have some terrible people around you. Holy, that shit is bad.
I mean, I guess it has up till this point, since so few people were aware of it. But now that it's being talked about more and more, I do think that he's going to need to come forward about all of it. There is quite a bit of time in the video dedicated to the community's response to the allegations, because it is bad how, like, viewers have responded to all of this. Basically, and it is a good point that D'Angelo Wallace made, because Tana Mongeau is widely disliked by the broader YouTube audience.
And that's crazy. I don't give a fuck how disliked somebody is. You can't ignore the shit that's happened to them. You know what I'm saying? If she's like a terrible person, you know, it is what it is, but that doesn't excuse the actions of the one that was the older in the situation. Oh, because she's a terrible person now, we don't give a fuck about what happened to you in the past. No, we still have to hold that nigga accountable, because that's still weird. I don't give a fuck about if she's a terrible person now. This is about him being weird. Right, SA is SA no matter who it happens to, bruh. Y'all can't pick and choose when SA is like something that should be reported or not. You can't pick and choose that.
On putting these claims out there, people attacked her, like dogpiled her for saying things like this. Like they jumped on her like she had just, you know, killed a puppy in front of them. Like, people responded to her in the worst possible way with these allegations. And Tana made a really good point where she said if this was any other YouTuber she was talking about, one that wasn't as highly regarded as Cody, the response would be completely different, where she'd be getting sympathetic messages and support for coming forward with her experience. But because it's Cody, it's been a biblical smackdown in the comments against her, which is just like a crazy response to something like this. I mean, there were some lunatics there, like genuinely hateful people saying like the most misogynistic shit you could find in the comment section about this because she dared come forward with her experience and talk about that situation. Now, again, yes, They are allegations. Nothing has been proven. But there is a lot of evidence here that should at the very least get a response from Cody Co about all of this. And it's not like he's not aware of what's happening. As pointed out in this video, he is seemingly censoring his YouTube comment section.
What? And now you're choosing censorship. On your YouTube channel, where you've been pumping out content nearly every day now, I couldn't find a single comment on your last video about this situation. Not even.
Wow. Say something. You can't avoid it forever. So it's all over your Instagram, but you've been filtering your YouTube comments. That's weird.
And now you're choosing censorship. On your YouTube channel, where you've been pumping out content nearly every day now,
So they are commenting on his wife's channels. Good role model for your kid, but a YouTuber without them being weird. I'm so upset that I bought his merch.
I couldn't find a single comment on your last video about this situation. Not even one. Comparing that to the comment section on your Instagram, where every single comment I saw was about this, it's clear that you're heavily censoring your audience on YouTube.
I actually went and checked this myself because this is a Lego build that you can follow along with at home. I went to his latest upload and clicked newest in the comment section because surely you'd see some now after this is being blown up into a huge story. But even when filtering on his newest upload by newest comments, I still only found a couple of comments that referenced this. So it really does seem like it's being heavily censored in the YouTube comments.
Wow.
Because with how big the story is, you would expect a lot of them, especially when you look at his Instagram. But somehow, nothing on YouTube? Yeah, that's very suspicious. That definitely smells like he is censoring the comments there. So it's not like he doesn't know what's going on here. Tana also said that he had reached out at some point kind of about this, saying like, are we good? So it's not...
Are we good is crazy. Hey, we good? Question mark.
Something that he's just unaware of, and that's why he hasn't addressed it. D'Angelo Wallace also points out how he's responded to things in the past, like he paywalled an apology for like an old clip that surfaced where he was using a slur. So he's talking about like the history of responding poorly to situations that Cody finds himself in. And then he brought up this, which I'd never heard of.
Not many people know that you've already lost fans over an eerily similar topic. You used to frequently feature and promote your college friend Colby Leechman in your videos, until it came out that during your school days, Leechman's university
entered a plea of responsibility violently violated Duke's policy with regard to authorization, surveillance, and photography. It was placed. Whoa.
He put him on probation for, as a United States District Judge would later put it, the non-consensual videotaping of a sex act with another student, showing the video to other people, lying to the police about the video, and behaving horribly to that individual and at least one other woman.
Wow.
To make matters worse, the woman in the video also alleged that Leechman drugged her before the recording and that she hadn't actually consented to anything at all. You had this man in your videos. You were telling us to follow him on Instagram, and at some point you did wise up, so he's no longer part of your content, but he still seems like he's very much a part of your friend group. From the continued hangout since then to inviting him to your wedding just last year, people are under the impression that you're best friends with someone who, at best, committed an illegal sex act and at worst is an alleged rapist. And no matter how many times people rediscover this information over the years, you refuse to say anything at all.
Wow.
That is baffling to me. Like, it's one thing to be friends with someone who turns out to be a monster, but once you learn that they're a
monster and you're still actively being their friend, they're still invited to your wedding, is insane.
That's where it should stop. I've said this before. If my best friend Matt turned out to have like a secret double life, you know, a Jekyll and Hyde situation where Matt goes out there and he does something truly heinous, I would cut them out of my life. I wouldn't be able to go forward being friends with someone like that. You know, giving him a fist bump saying, hey, we're still bubble buddies.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me. If you recorded yourself, okay. You actively record yourself fucking somebody, right? Why would I then go show it to my friends? I never got that. I don't get that. Why would I want you seeing who I'm sleeping with, seeing my private parts and shit like, hey, look at this, bro? What? Probably to brag. I just think that shit's weird. Any of my ever homies ever come up to me like, yo, check out my sex tape. Why the fuck would I do that? Why would I do that? That shit is weird as hell. Okay, you could have told me, you know, hey, I fucked her and we did this and that. Okay, cool. But actively like, yo, watch this. No. Bro, watching a homie sex tape is so weird to me, bro. So weird, bro.
Bro, like, I couldn't do that. So it's so weird to me that Cody can, and when people have talked about it in the past, apparently Cody has just ignored it. That is very, very odd.
I haven't seen a single channel over 1 million subscribers do so much as acknowledge that this situation exists. And I'm not talking about channels that never would have discussed something like this either. I mean the same channels that were rightfully calling out people like Dr. Disrespect for texting a minor, which are the same channels that are now completely ignoring a scenario with an even bigger creator being accused of doing something much worse.
D'Angelo Wallace makes a point a couple times in this video about the silence on this subject being staggering, considering in the YouTube ecosystem there's tons of commentary channels that'll cover a wide variety of topics, sometimes rumors that aren't nearly this serious, you know, like a 2-part docuseries on that time Markiplier allegedly pooped without peeing. Or, in my case, I'll make a whole rant going over how aliens probably aren't visiting us via theoretical warp drives to haunt our boners. And yet, somehow, a story that's this serious just slips through the cracks and didn't have many people talking about it until very recently. So I'd like to at least take a quick moment here to explain why I hadn't covered it. Now, I did hear the whispers about this Cody Co allegation about a week ago now, where someone in stream chat had mentioned, hey, have you heard what Cody Co apparently did with Tana Mongeau? And on stream I asked what they were talking about because I hadn't heard shit about that. Eventually another chatter explained that I could find more information about it on Reddit because a conversation was starting to develop around those allegations, so I made like a note of it and then went to bed. The following day I got home pretty late and then went to follow up on things from the previous night, because sometimes during stream I'll make like tabs about what people are telling me to look up. I don't do react content on stream or anything anymore, so if it's like a video that people are recommending I check out to get caught up on something or whatever, I'll make a tab for that video and then watch it when I get back to the following day. And when it came to the Cody Co thing with the Reddit post, by the time I got to it, it was deleted. So I kind of assumed that maybe the claims were just baloney, and I didn't see a whole lot of chatter about it. I saw a couple of tweets that loosely talked around it, vaguely, and I just didn't look into it deeper than that. And I recognize now that that was a mistake, so I'm sorry for that. But I just didn't find a lot of information at the time until, of course, last night when D'Angelo Wallace posted the video covering all of this. So I know the speculation has been made that the reason people aren't talking about the Cody Co situation is because he's a channel that a lot of people respect and is friends with a lot of the community. So no one wants to speak out against their friend or a channel that they respect so much, thus they're trying to help, you know, bury it or not let it, you know, erupt into the mainstream. For me, that wasn't the case. When I went looking for the info after that stream, I didn't find anything, and I didn't do a big enough dive on it to access it, so I just kind of stopped looking, which, again, was a mistake, clearly. I've talked about Cody Co's content in the past. I've liked his content. I respected him as a content creator, but I'd never say that we were friends or anything. I went on his podcast one time, and I think we only ever talked in Twitter DMs once as well. We weren't exactly like inseparable friends, you know, the best of pals and buddies or anything. Like, I imagine if we walked by each other in a crowded mall, we'd do one of these to each other, and that'd probably be the end of it. This isn't some kind of story that I was avoiding or anything like that. I just truly didn't do enough digging on it because, as D'Angelo Wallace does mention, this story has been pretty successfully buried for the most part, where a lot of people just weren't aware of it, and I didn't do due diligence to become aware of it. But luckily, D'Angelo Wallace did, and created this great video going over all of it. So I wanted to talk about this because obviously it's a very serious situation. Cody Co absolutely should come forward to explain all of it, and if there is another side to—
I ain't gonna lie, there's nothing you can really explain. You slept with someone that was under age 18. You actively knew and still, like, you made out with the person. And instead of righting your wrongs, they're like, yo, I didn't know they were under 17. Once you actively knew, you still went and hooked up with them. There's nothing you can explain after that shit. You're fucking disgusting.
To this story, tell it if it's wrong, set the record straight. It's a very upsetting story here that at the very least needs to be addressed by Cody publicly. This can't be another paywalled apology situation or anything like that. This should definitely be something that he comes forward and actually talks about. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.
I just bit the inside of my cheek. I bit the fuck out the inside of my cheek. Oh, no more seeds for me. Alright, man. Shout out Hango Zero. W video, bro. You got it, bro. You know. Yeah, I don't know who Cody is. Staying silent and trying to monitor your YouTube comments. It ain't a good look, man.